Her stepmother cut her beautiful braids out of jealousy, but she did not know it would make her stepdaughter queen. In a small village in Africa, there lived a girl named Lulu. Lulu was very pretty. She had long, thick black braids. Her hair was so beautiful that everyone in the village loved to look at her. All the girls wanted hair like Lulu's. Lulu's mother loved her very much. Every night her mother combed her long braids and said, "Lulu, your beauty is your light, but your heart is your real crown." One sad day, Lulu's mother became very sick. Lulu held her mother's hand and cried. She asked, "Mama, will you get better soon?" Her mother touched Lulu's face softly. "Always be kind, my Lulu. That is your greatest beauty," she whispered. Then she closed her eyes and never opened them again. Lulu felt very alone. Her father, Bako, was a kind man, but he was weak and could not care for Lulu alone. Soon he married a woman named Nyoka. Nyoka had a sharp tongue and a cold heart. Nyoka also had her own daughter named Tamina, who was 5 years younger than Lulu. Tamina was spoiled. She never worked. She sat all day painting her nails and watching television. Nyoka loved Tamina and gave her everything. But from the first day, Nyoka treated Lulu very badly. Like a servant, every day Lulu cleaned the house, washed dishes, and cooked food. Her hands got tired, and her back hurt. One evening, Lulu finished cleaning and felt very hungry. She went to Nyoka with tears in her eyes and said, "Auntie Nyoka, I finished cleaning. Can I eat now?" Nyoka looked at Lulu coldly and said, "That food is for my daughter Tamina. Go outside and find something else to eat if you're hungry." Lulu went outside quietly. She found some old bread and ate alone under the stars. She missed her mother and cried softly, whispering, "Mama, why did you leave me?" One night, after all her work was done, Lulu sat in front of the mirror. She gently combed her beautiful long black braids. As she looked at her reflection, she smiled sadly and whispered, "Mama, they can take away everything, but they can't take my hair. This is the only thing you left for me." In the village, everyone still admired Lulu's beauty. The girls said, "Lulu, you are so beautiful. Your hair is perfect." Lulu smiled softly, but her heart was sad because at home, she never heard kind words like these. Tamina watched Lulu from afar and felt jealous. She turned to Nyoka and said, "Mother, why do people say Lulu is beautiful? I am better than her." Nyoka hugged Tamina tightly. "You are the best, my dear. Don't worry. Lulu will never be better than you." That night, Lulu lay on her small bed, holding a picture of her mother. She whispered softly, "Mama, I promise I will always keep my heart kind, just like you told me." Lulu closed her eyes, dreaming of happier days, not knowing the challenges waiting ahead. As Lulu grew older, she became even more beautiful. At 25 years old, her beauty was so bright that even without nice clothes or jewelry, people still stopped and stared. They whispered about her beauty wherever she went. But inside, Lulu still felt sad, because at home, Nyoka and Tamina always treated her poorly. Tamina was now 20. She never worked. She spent her days painting her nails, watching television, and laughing at Lulu. One day, Tamina pointed at Lulu and said loudly, "Lulu, even your beauty cannot hide the fact that you are just a maid." Lulu felt hurt, but she said nothing. She kept doing her chores, hoping that someday things would change. One sunny day, a loud voice echoed through the village. It was the town crier. He shouted, "Listen, everyone. There will be a royal dance at the palace. All unmarried girls must come. The prince will choose his bride at the dance." Lulu's eyes sparkled with hope. Her heart jumped with joy. She ran quickly to Nyoka and said excitedly, "Mama Nyoka, can I go to the dance too?" Nyoka turned red with anger. Her voice exploded like thunder. "How dare you even think about it? You are nothing but a maid. A prince would never look at you." Tamina stood beside Nyoka, smirking at Lulu. She said sharply, "Look at me, Lulu. My face is fit for royalty. Your face is fit for dishwashing." Lulu stood tall. She felt brave. "I will still go. I deserve to dream too," she said firmly. Nyoka's eyes narrowed. She said loudly, "And how will you go? You have no nice dress. Maybe you should go ask your mother's ghost for one." Lulu felt tears coming, but she remembered her mother's words. She softly replied, "My mother always told me I was meant for more." Nyoka laughed cruelly. "You think too much of yourself, Lulu. You will never be anything more than a maid." That night, Nyoka stayed awake, thinking of ways to make sure Lulu could not go to the dance. Her heart filled with hatred. She whispered angrily, "Lulu will never be better than my daughter. I must stop her." Lulu lay awake too, dreaming about the royal dance. She imagined herself dancing beautifully, just like a princess. She held tightly to her mother's picture, whispering, "Mama, I will make you proud. I will not give up." Outside, stars twinkled in the sky. They seemed to say, "Stay strong, Lulu. Your dreams are bigger than your troubles." But Lulu did not know what was waiting for her. She did not know Nyoka had a cruel plan in mind. Nyoka's heart was dark with jealousy and anger. She could not bear the thought of Lulu finding happiness. As Lulu finally fell asleep, dreaming of beautiful dresses and joyful music, Nyoka smiled a wicked smile. She whispered softly to herself, "Just wait, Lulu. Tomorrow your dreams will end." The day before the dance came quickly. Lulu felt happy. She smiled as she cleaned the house and cooked food. She did all the washing, sweeping, and cooking. Nyoka kept shouting orders, making sure Lulu had no time to rest. "Wash those clothes again. They are not clean," Nyoka yelled. "Yes, Auntie, Nyoka," Lulu said softly, working faster. By evening, Lulu was very tired. Her hands hurt. Her feet hurt. But she did not complain. She thought about the dance, and her heart felt warm. When she finished all her chores, Lulu stood up straight and whispered to herself, "I did it. Now nothing can stop me." Nyoka watched Lulu quietly from a dark corner. Her eyes were angry and cold. "You think you are better than my daughter?" Nyoka whispered to herself. "I will show you what happens to girls who dream too big." Late at night, when the moon was bright, Lulu fell asleep quickly. She was so tired she did not hear the door open quietly. Nyoka stepped into Lulu's room, holding something sharp in her hand. Scissors. Nyoka smiled an evil smile. She came close to Lulu's bed and lifted Lulu's beautiful braids. Slowly and quietly, Nyoka started cutting Lulu's hair. Snip, snip, snip. Lulu did not wake up. Nyoka kept cutting until Lulu's thick braids fell to the floor. Lulu's head was completely bald. Nyoka laughed softly and whispered, "Now let's see if the prince wants a bald crow like you." Morning came. Lulu opened her eyes. She touched her head and screamed loudly, "My hair? My hair is gone!" She jumped out of bed and saw her hair on the floor. Tears filled her eyes. Lulu fell to her knees, crying hard. "Why?" she sobbed loudly. "Why would you do this to me?" Nyoka stood at the door, smiling cruelly. "You wanted to dance, didn't you? Dance now, Lulu. Let everyone laugh at you," Lulu cried, holding her bald head. Her heart felt broken. Her hair was the last gift from her mother. Now, it was gone. But as Lulu sat crying, she remembered her mother's words. Lulu, your beauty is your light, but your heart will always be your crown. Lulu wiped her tears. She felt pain, but she also felt courage. You can take my hair, Auntie Nyoka, but you can't take my heart, she whispered bravely. She stood up, picked up a beautiful scarf and covered her bald head carefully. She walked out quickly, running through the village. Everyone looked at Lulu, surprised. She knocked on her best friend's door. Amina, please, open quickly. Amina opened the door and saw Lulu's tears. Lulu, what happened? My hair. Lulu sobbed again. Auntie Nyoka cut it off. Amina hugged Lulu tightly. Come inside quickly. We will fix this. Your hair was beautiful, Lulu, but your heart is stronger. Lulu smiled a little, feeling hopeful again. She knew nothing could break her heart, not even Nyoka's cruelty. Inside Amina's small house, Lulu cried quietly. Amina held Lulu's hand and hugged her tight. Do not cry, Lulu, Amina said gently. Hair grows back, but your heart is always beautiful. Lulu touched her bald head and whispered, But everyone will laugh at me. How can I face the prince now? Amina smiled warmly. You will still go. We will show them what true beauty means. Amina quickly opened a big box. Inside was a beautiful royal blue dress. Lulu's eyes became wide in surprise. It's for you, said Amina softly. I made it myself. You will look perfect. Lulu put on the dress. She felt like a princess. Then Amina gave her a lovely scarf, shining with many bright stones. Cover your head with this, Amina said. Everyone will see how strong you are. Lulu looked in the mirror and smiled again. She felt brave now. Soon they reached the royal dance. The palace was bright with lights and music. Many beautiful girls stood around, dressed in lovely clothes. Lulu's heart beat fast. When Lulu stepped inside, everyone turned to look at her. They whispered quietly. Who is she? One girl asked. She looks beautiful, said another amazed. Lulu held her head high, even though she was bald. She remembered her mother's words. Your heart will always be your crown. Across the room, Prince Obasi stood tall and handsome. He looked at Lulu with warm, kind eyes. Slowly he walked toward her. Would you dance with me? Obasi asked gently, offering his hand. Lulu nodded shyly. I would love to, she whispered softly. They danced slowly under glowing lanterns. Everyone watched silently. Lulu felt calm, safe and special. Obasi smiled warmly. What is your name? Lulu, she said softly. Lulu, your courage shines brighter than any crown, he said, his voice gentle and kind. Suddenly, a loud voice shouted from the crowd. It was Nyoka. She is bald. You should choose my beautiful daughter, Tamina. Nyoka yelled angrily. Tamina stood beside Nyoka, her face red with anger. Yes, pick me, Prince Obasi, not that ugly girl. The crowd looked at Lulu. Lulu's eyes filled with tears, but she stayed strong. Prince Obasi raised Lulu's hand, high in front of everyone. I choose Lulu, Obasi said clearly. I choose her not for her hair, but for her brave heart. Everyone began clapping and cheering loudly. Nyoka's face turned pale. She could not believe what was happening. Prince Obasi looked into Lulu's eyes and slowly knelt down in front of her. Lulu, will you marry me? He asked gently. Lulu's heart jumped with joy. Tears ran down her cheeks, but this time they were happy tears. Yes, Obasi. Yes, I will marry you, Lulu said, smiling brightly. Amina smiled proudly, her eyes full of tears too. Everyone in the palace celebrated, loudly. In that moment, Lulu knew true beauty was not in her hair. It was in her brave and loving heart. Nyoka heard Prince Obasi's words. She felt very angry. Her body shook, and she fell to the floor. Everyone turned to look. Tamina cried loudly. "This is not fair!" Tamina shouted, tears streaming down her face. "Why did he choose her? She has no hair. She's ugly." But no one listened to Tamina. They smiled at Lulu. The crowd cheered louder. "She did not need beauty," a woman whispered softly. "She showed strength and courage. She showed us what really matters." Days passed quickly. Soon the village gathered again. Lulu wore a beautiful dress and her special scarf. Prince Obasi stood proudly beside her. It was the day Lulu would become queen. Lulu looked around. Her heart felt warm. She thought about her mother. "I hope you can see me, Mama," Lulu whispered softly. "I hope you are proud of me." Prince Obasi gently placed a golden crown on Lulu's head. "Today, Lulu becomes your queen," he said loudly to everyone. People cheered and clapped. Again, they loved Lulu very much. Slowly, Lulu stood in front of the crowd. She took a deep breath, smiled, and spoke clearly. "Friends," Lulu said warmly, "today I stand before you not because of my beauty. My hair was cut, but my heart stayed strong." Everyone listened quietly. Lulu's eyes filled with happy tears, but she continued speaking bravely. "My mother once told me, 'Lulu, your beauty is your light, but your heart will always be your crown.' Now I understand. True beauty can be cut, but courage cannot. Kindness cannot." Many people nodded. They knew Lulu spoke true words from her heart. "I want every girl here to remember something important," Lulu said, looking around. "Let no girl ever believe she is less because someone else says so. You are strong, brave, and special, just as you are." The crowd clapped again. Many girls hugged their mothers tightly, feeling happy and proud. Lulu smiled softly and touched the scarf on her head. "This scarf covers my bald head. It shows my strength. From today, let this scarf become a symbol of courage. Let any girl who feels different wear it proudly." From that day, Lulu's scarf became famous. Girls from villages all around wore scarves just like Lulu's. Girls with scars, burns, or bald heads wore the scarf with big smiles. They felt proud and strong, just like their queen. Nyoka watched quietly from far away. Her face looked sad and sorry. Tamina stood next to her mother, silent for the first time. She learned something important that day. Beauty comes from the heart, not from the face. Prince Obasi gently held Lulu's hand and smiled warmly. "You taught us something special today, Lulu. You taught us that a true queen has kindness and courage in her heart." Lulu smiled happily. Her dream came true. Not because of her hair, but because of her strong, loving heart. The people remembered. Forever. You can steal someone's crown, but never their courage. True royalty is always carried in the heart. Besties, has someone ever tried to take your crown? Tell me honestly. How did you deal with it? And what kept your heart strong? I'm reading all your stories.